I like wearing things that are, somewhat functional, but I guess kind of good looking. I'm not gonna wear baggy cargo pants, but I'll wear like fitted joggers, multiple pockets, or, I just like putting stuff, carrying around a lot of things. Shirts, kind of fitted, but I guess it just depends on the day. And I guess nowadays that I'm getting older, I've been wearing a hat more, so for sure a hat. But yeah, just a hat, t-shirt, either joggers or jeans. Pretty laid back and neutral, so. So I'm from California, mainly grew up in the Inland Empire in Hesperia. After about almost 20 years, I moved down here to LA and been here ever since. It was great, it's just all outdoors out there. Back in the day, my neighbors were, almost a mile away, so it was just me and my brother, and we would just hang out with each other almost every day, every weekend, and just be outside, unlike today where you could easily just turn on the TV and, play a game on your phone. Back then, we just had our bikes and dirt, so just getting out there was fun. No, it was later in life, but I was definitely exposed out there. My uncle would always take us hunting, and then when we'd visit my dad's friends, they had their guns, and so it wasn't anything new to us back then, and it wasn't something scary either. I'd say when I was 12, yeah, just going hunting, and then finally when I turned 18, I was old enough to buy a gun, and just went out there and got it, and from then on I was just buying more as time went on, so. I'd say over, what, 15, almost 15 years, so. I don't go hunting nowadays, but back in the day it was mainly just quail, pigeons, what's out there in the desert? Those little rabbits, I forgot what they were called, but yeah, back in the day, like that was what we'd always go for. A shotgun, depending on how big they are, or, how big you are yourself, but mainly a shotgun. In the CCW process, so I've just finished my second interview. Different cities, different counties, their requirements are, different depending on if you're with the sheriff's department or a local police department. So yeah, after my second interview, I just have a class and then another 16 hours of training, and then I'd hopefully get the permit with that. But I wanted to get one because nowadays, the police just aren't there fast enough. And if your life depended on it, why not handle it in seconds than wait minutes for someone to show up, hoping for someone to show up. Well, out of the three that are nearest, or three surrounding including LA, I'd say the OC is pretty easy to get one. And then the next up would be the Inland Empire. And LA is just, the bottom of that list, just because there's just so many rules and regulations, and again, like how different police departments handle it. But for sure, Orange County would be number one, easy to get it. No, I'm doing with, in the LA County, but with El Monte Police Department. Yeah, they're separate. Yeah, it all depends on whatever address is on your driver's license. I think people who are afraid of guns are usually the ones who've never, had the responsibility of owning one, or, they try to acquire one. So I think, they're just fed all this negative news from the media, and I think that's where it stems from. Honestly, if, someone who does own a gun or owns a few guns, if they're really adamant about, recreational use, or even people in law enforcement, those negative stereotypes don't really affect them, because to them guns are just tools, just like hammers are tools, and they're just things to use. So I try to go once a month because, like any, martial arts or, sports, it's a perishable skill. So it's, it's important to upkeep that. Education-wise, almost every shooting range, or even almost majority of gun stores offer classes. So it's not like it's, a hidden thing, or, it's not easily accessible. People can just walk into any range or store and ask for training. I don't think the smart gun tech is smart at all. I mean, I know it's a new thing and there's a good purpose and meaning behind it, but if someone wanted to do harm with a gun, no matter what, they're gonna get a gun, whether it be a smart gun or just something they put together in their backyard. So I think smart gun technology, for now, I think it just limits peaceable people or like people who actually follow the law from obtaining a gun. I think it's ridiculous. I don't know how doing a background check for ammo would, reduce crime, mainly because of all the 50 states, only a handful are actually doing it. For the states that aren't doing it, crime hasn't changed for them. It hasn't significantly gone up. It hasn't significantly gone down either. But I just don't think it's a good move because it just takes away from, again, people getting guns, people buying ammo. And if you're just going to limit the ammo for people who own guns, it kind of takes away the purpose of owning a gun. I got into, to be honest, when I was first introduced to jiu-jitsu, I didn't like it. I didn't think it was the best thing, or I wasn't very wowed by it. Just the thought of rubbing up against another sweaty dude, whether it be in a gi or like your spats, it just wasn't appealing to me. But as I grew older, I found out one, it's a great workout, and two, it's useful whether you're a cop, whether you're out there protecting people, or everyday life. Jiu-jitsu comes in handy, and if you get knocked to the ground, at least you know what to do. As I was finishing college, I got more and more into jiu-jitsu. I'd say now jiu-jitsu for sure, yeah. I think it's the most realistic application-wise. I mean, yeah, sure, people say, what if someone's trying to hit you? You're just gonna stand off and hopefully you could, hug them and get around them, or like, what are you, like, you're gonna drop to the ground and wait for them to get to you? Jiu-jitsu is not all about rolling on the ground. If you were to get in a street fight, rather than just punching someone in the face and just, cracking their skull, you could probably just put them to sleep, or just, get their arms, get their legs, hold them back, and just wait for, help to arrive. Hopefully that'll help you out in court, it gets you there. I guess jiu-jitsu really helps with mobility, because you're put in those positions. And it helps with awkwardly getting out of those positions too, so I guess strength-wise. And just overall moving, I don't have to worry about my aching joints if I were to, hit pads. If I had enough, I would just tap out. Those are just great things that evolve around jiu-jitsu. And the camaraderie, there's definitely a lot of that. You could roll with a black belt and no harm done, he puts you to sleep. You could roll with a white belt and you're a blue or purple, no harm done if either you hurt each other. I think it just gives them the skill to handle those threats efficiently. Rather than someone who doesn't know jiu-jitsu and you're a cop and you're put face to face with someone bigger than you and you end up just, throwing all your training out the door, choking a guy until he dies. It just looks bad for the department. But if you're training jiu-jitsu, you'll know how to handle those situations. Like if a guy's bigger than you could throw him to the ground, get the cuffs on quickly, and you know where your hands are gonna go next, rather than just trying to figure it out, staring at the guy, and both of you are just flailing on the ground. So yeah, I mean, I personally think people in those types of jobs should at least have a blue belt in jiu-jitsu so that they're competent in going hands-on with people. I definitely think the world would be a safer place if people were able to carry concealed. It's just that back thought of not knowing if that person you're about to mess with has a gun or not. I mean, you can look at the states that it's called constitutional carry, where they could just carry concealed without a permit. Their crime rate isn't as bad as California, and California has one of the strictest gun laws in the US, so I definitely think being able to carry concealed is a good thing. Open carry, I think, is just too much. As much as I love guns, I wouldn't feel easy standing next to someone who has a rifle slung on their back, because I wouldn't know what he's capable of. But if it was concealed, I'm none the wiser. I guess don't be afraid. 18-year-old me was always afraid to do things just because I always worried about what other people thought. I would tell them who gives a shit? Just do what you gotta do. Thanks, man.